first branch is called the brachiocephalic trunk. And in the cat, it gives rise to the right subclavian artery right here, which goes out underneath the clavicle and into the arm. The right common carotid artery, like in the human, but also the left common carotid artery. Okay, now in the human, the left common carotid artery is back off of the aorta. But in the cat, it comes from off the brachiocephalic trunk. Then, for the left subclavian, we go back off of the aorta here in the cat, just like in the human. Right? Let's follow the right subclavian here out into the armpit for the axillary. And you also have the vein there, right? So we have subclavian artery and vein. Then we have brachial artery in here between the nerves, right? And vein. And that's as far as I'm going in the cat. About your other instructor.
I don't think we're going to have to go that far in the cat.
Okay. So also the jugular vein right here, right, merges with the subclavian vein to form the brachiocephalic vein. And you have both a left and right brachiocephalic vein, which then becomes the superior vena cava. You have the similar thing on the left, but we didn't dissect it out, right? So then let's follow the aorta. This is the descending thoracic aorta. All right, when we come down here, when it hits the diaphragm here, it comes through the abdominal aorta. The first branch off of the abdominal aorta here is the celiac trunk. And then branching off the celiac trunk is your common hepatic artery there, which is going to go to your liver. This is your left gastric artery going to your stomach, and this is the splenic artery, which goes over to your spleen. The next branch off of the aorta here is the superior mesenteric artery. All right. Then we get the renals here, right? Renal artery, renal vein. There's this inferior vena cava, and then the abdominal aorta keeps going down. We got little gonadal arteries coming off there. Here's the inferior mesenteric artery, which goes to the large intestine, right? And running still the inferior vena cava there. Then we get down into the iliac region. In the cat, the aorta splits into external iliacs, a median sacral artery, and then off of that branches the internal iliac. There's no common iliac artery in the cat, okay? So external, internal. Then the external iliac becomes the femoral artery, right? And then it would go behind the knee to the popliteal and then the anterior and posterior tibial, but we're not going to go that far. Then we have the, running along the artery, we have the femoral vein. This cat has had the great saphenous vein broken, which would be running along here, more superficial. And didn't get any dye in this side, so we don't even have a great saphenous vein, but we would have this big blue vein that would come down here. So the femoral then becomes the external iliac vein. We have an internal iliac vein down there. Then we do have a common iliac vein in the cat. The common iliac veins merge to form the inferior vena cava. Now, draining directly into the inferior vena cava, we have the renal veins. We do have a right gonadal vein and a left gonadal vein coming into the renal vein here, but we don't have any of the gut stuff draining into the vena cava. That goes to the liver first and by what's called the portal circulation.
Hepatic portal.
Right, the hepatic portal, right? Which includes the inferior mesenteric vein, the superior mesenteric vein, the splenic vein, the gastric vein. They all merge to form the hepatic portal vein, which comes right up into the port of the liver here, right? And it doesn't get the blue dye, right? It's that kind of brownish, whitish colored vessel there, which you can't really see very well, and I don't ask my kids on a test. All right, so that's that vessel right there. That's the portal vein. Then it goes into the capillaries of the livers, and then back into the inferior vena. The inferior vena cava by the hepatic veins, which are in the liver, so you can't really see them on the cat either.
Yeah.
And that's the blood vessels of the cat.